Scorpio has the tightest aspect in the sky hitting their ruler this week. Libra's relationship house reaches its breaking point, and Cancer, the moment 12 years in the making, finally arrives. If these readings find you at the right time, subscribe. Stay for your sign. Aries, your last window before everything shifts is right now. 4 planets have been burning in your sign all month, and the pressure from that Sun-Saturn identity test is finally releasing, so you can breathe again. But Venus sits at the final degree of your sign, urgent and concentrated, and it leaves this week. That window for the bold move you have been circling, it is closing. Meanwhile, Saturn's sextile Pluto is exact, which means any commitment you formalize right now carries unusual structural power, the kind that sticks for years. So take the decisive action, sign the thing, make the declaration, but lead with intention and not just urgency, because desire and wisdom rarely move at the same speed. Do not let Venus use you on the way out. Taurus, your ruler is coming home, and a 7-year storm is ending in the same breath. Venus has been restless in Aries all year, bold and out of character, but it crosses into your sign this week, and when it arrives, you will feel the difference. Everything Venus rules, beauty, money, sensuality, self-worth, gets a direct upgrade because Venus in Taurus is Venus at its most powerful. At the same time, Uranus is finishing its 7-year residency in your sign, and that disruption chapter is nearly over. Whatever was rebuilt through the upheaval, the reinvented foundations, the version of you that survived it, that is yours to keep. Move on, financial or creative decisions, the moment Venus arrives. The energy stops fighting and starts flowing. Gemini, your ruler just picked up speed, and it is building towards something rare. Mercury is gaining momentum in Pisces, forming a trine to Jupiter that is still applying and strengthening all week, so your words carry further right now than they will for months. Ideas arrive sideways, through feeling, through half-awake moments, through conversations you were not expecting to matter, and those are worth chasing. Every planet is direct, so nothing is fogged or stalled. Publish the thing, pitch the idea, say what you've been turning over, because Mercury trine Jupiter gives it unusual lift. The one trap to watch is scatter. Too many interesting threads and no follow-through. Pick the idea with the most pull and take it all the way. Cancer, something you have been quietly nurturing is about to crest, and this week is when you let it arrive. Jupiter has been in your sign blessing everything it touches. Career openings, emotional healing, the sense that the universe is backing your next move, and that energy peaks alongside a building full moon this week. Your ruler is nearly full, running high and sensitive, with Virgo lending enough clarity to process what you feel rather than drown in it. Mercury is trining Jupiter too, so a conversation could open a door you did not see coming. The challenge is discernment. Not every opportunity deserves a yes, even when the energy is generous. Act on the ambition that has been growing. This window will not repeat for 12 years. Leo, the Saturn pressure just cleared and your stride is back. For 2 weeks, your ruler was locked with Saturn, the sky demanding you earn authority before you got to use it. That chapter is closing, and what you built under that weight now gets to stand. The risk is that released pressure feels like permission to overextend. So keep the discipline you earned even as the leash loosens. Venus is at its final degree in your 9th house, meaning the hunger for expansion, a course, a trip, a belief you have been circling, peaks now before the tone shifts to something slower. Act on what is genuinely calling you, not just the urgency. The window is real, Leo, and it closes this week. Virgo, the moon is in your sign this week, and it is almost full. Everything you have been quietly carrying, The anxiety the project held too tightly, the tension filed under handle later, is pressing toward the surface now. Your ruler Mercury is in Pisces opposing that moon, so instinct and analysis are in direct conflict and neither side is conceding. The risk is retreating into the critique loop and overthinking what your gut is already telling you plainly. Let the feeling inform the logic instead of fighting it. Mercury is trining Jupiter, and the ideas that come from sitting with that tension are genuinely worth capturing this week. The full moon is a completion, Virgo. You are allowed to set something down. Libra, your ruler is at its final degree in your relationship house. Venus, at 29 degrees Aries, is the peak of that direct, self-first energy before it dissolves into something quieter and deeper. Whatever has been building in a key partnership, the unfinished conversation, the answer you have been extending, the dynamic needing a clear response this week, it asks for resolution. The sky is not accepting ambiguity right now. The near full moon is in your 12th house, and the clarity you need will not come through negotiation. It comes alone in the quiet before the conversation. Sit with what you actually want first. When Venus moves into Taurus, the relationship enters deeper water, and what you decide now is the foundation of what gets built there. Scorpio, the tightest aspect of 2026 peaks in your ruler this week. Saturn in Aries is forming an exact sextile to Pluto in Aquarius, and Pluto is yours. Saturn builds structure, Pluto transforms it, and a sextile is a cooperative invitation that only activates if you initiate. The transformation on offer is not the volcanic kind. It is architectural, steady, and built to hold for years. In your chart, this connection runs between your 6th house of daily practice and your 4th house of deep foundation. So the power lives in consistent habit applied to the root of how your life is built, not in a single dramatic move. Commit to something lasting this week, Scorpio. The scaffolding is at its most precise and it will not stay this exact. Sagittarius, your ruler, just got activated by the best transit of this week. Last week, you were in motion, launching and building, and what you made is ready to be shared. Mercury is forming a trine with Jupiter. Mercury in your house of roots, and Jupiter expanding your house of depth. The ideas you've been keeping private will travel further than expected, but only if you speak them. Resist starting something new. Deepening what you already launched is worth more than a fresh sprint right now. Write it down, pitch it, send the message you've been drafting. Venus is at its final degree of bold desire. So if there's something in your creative or romantic life you've been circling without claiming, that window closes this week. Move before it shifts. Capricorn, your ruler just hit the most powerful aspect of the year. Saturn sextile Pluto is exact this week, and since Saturn is your ruler, the structural backing for permanent change belongs to you more than any other sign. Last week brought reckoning, a clear look at what had been built on something less than solid. That pressure is lifting now, and what it leaves is clarity. Whatever you're rebuilding in your home or private life has the strongest timing of the season behind it. Don't wait for circumstances to improve. Make the commitment you've been weighing. Put something permanent in place and have the one important conversation that confirms shared direction. Mercury trine Jupiter opens exactly that channel this week. The foundation you build now will outlast almost any other timing you could choose. Aquarius, Pluto is in your sign, and Saturn just perfected its sextile to it. The most powerful structural aspect in the sky this week is pointing directly at your transformation, asking you to commit to who you are becoming, not who you were. Pluto has been reconstructing your identity for 2 years. And Saturn's exact sextile this week is the architectural peak of that process. The moment change stops being a process and becomes a permanent fact. The support doesn't activate passively. You have to reach for it deliberately. Decide what the emerging version of you stands for and then say it. Venus, at its final degree of bold expression, is in your house of communication right now, making this the last window for your most original charged declaration. Send it before Venus changes signs.